Hey everyone, hope you're well. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot, and this is your new moon in Taurus message. The new moon in Taurus took place on May 16th or 17th, 2026, depending on where you live in the world. I did release a long 2.5 hour video on May 14th. However, in the past week, I've heard from many of you who said you were unable to understand the video because of its long format. YouTube did not translate it into your native language. So today, I edited that video down into 12 individual videos, 12 single videos, one for each zodiac sign. So YouTube will be able now to translate it and you will be able to understand the message. It is not too late to watch this reading, as this is a 6-month reading, and it is never too late for you to plant some seeds for a new life or a new chapter of your life. So please watch your sun, moon, rising, as well as your Venus placements. If you're not sure what those placements are, in the description box of this video is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. And also keep in mind, it is a collective general reading. So as the messages come through, take what fits and leave what doesn't, because if it's not your message, it simply means that it is meant for someone else to hear. With all of that said, now let's begin. Hello, Gemini twin gang. If you're a Gemini sun sign, we're getting close to our season. So if you're celebrating your birthday in the early days of Gemini season, I'd like to wish you a very happy birthday. Let's take a look now at your new moon and Taurus message. This is for Gemini sun, moon, rising, as well as Venus placements. The end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn. Hallelujah. Okay, sorry. And gratitude. Maybe have gratitude for some of the lessons that you've learned in that past cycle. And sometimes that's all we can do, right? When we're closing out something that has been difficult, a chapter of our lives that has been difficult. Yes, you can look back with disdain. Yes, you can look back with, oh, I can't believe I fell for that 10 times in a row. I can't believe I allowed that person in my life. Oh, God, why did I ever buy that car? You know, whatever it is, whatever it has been here for you. But I think a better way to look at it is to look at it through the lens of gratitude. What did I learn from that experience? How did it enrich my life? How did it help me evolve to become the person that I am today? Tell me more about this. The end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn, and gratitude for the Gemini collective. One more shuffle here. Thank you. You have the King of Pentacles. You have the Seven of Swords. And you have the Three of Wands. So you're moving forward here, Gemini. Okay, this is Chariot. Oh, yeah, you're moving forward. Some of you are relocating or contemplating relocating. But there definitely is a feeling here of there has to be more out there. And you're right, there is. The end of a tough cycle approaches. There's a new cycle here. Astrologically, this is the sun in Aries. Aries is all about taking action on one's own behalf, one's self. So I think for you, this might have something to do here with a little bit of maybe a self-worth value here. You might be a little bit nervous to take the next step. Clarify that King of Pentacles. Clarify the King of Pentacles. All the Seven of Swords, whether it was your own self-sabotaging behavior or one particular person's or, you know, several people that you dealt with, I think this is what you need to be grateful for. I think when you move forward, you need to take the lessons. There's some appreciation here, as crazy as that sounds. King of Pentacles. We'll take it. Chariot. Two of Pentacles. And the Four of Swords. Clarify that Seven of Swords. Clarify the Seven of Swords. One more shuffle. Thank you. Seven of Swords. King of Wands. Four of Cups. And the Emperor. I think you're now the Emperor, whether you're masculine or feminine. Thanks in part to what occurred there in that Seven of Swords between you and another individual. Three of Wands. Clarified by Three of Pentacles. The Ace of Cups. And the World card. Wow, you are Devil, Capricorn, full moon in Capricorn. Full moons are all about releasing. You are moving away from a very toxic pattern within yourself, or a toxic relationship, or in general, something that was very unhealthy for you. And this could be like you've been a smoker for 20 or 30 years. And this is when you're deciding, in this new moon in Taurus, I'm going to plant some seeds for good health, right? Taurus could be grounding and the body, taking care of the body. I think I had said that in the beginning of the reading in the intro. So for some of you, this is what you're doing. And you're like, I'm going to look back and see, what did I learn from smoking for 20 or 30 years? I spent all this money. It impacted my health this way. So there's something here about having gratitude. Should you be grateful that you were a smoker for 20 or 30 years? No. But maybe now you value your body more. Maybe now you value nutrition more. Maybe now you're a little bit more conscious about how much money you were spending to negatively impact your own body. And I'm not coming down on you if you're a smoker. I'm a smoker too. I went 9 years not smoking and I went back to it. And I've been on and off ever since in the last 6 years. So I'm not shaming you at all, Gemini. And even if this was a relationship, maybe you had the self-sabotaging behavior. Maybe they had a self-sabotaging behavior. But there's something here to look back and say, if it wasn't for that experience or that connection, I wouldn't have discovered all of this about myself. And not to make your reading about me, but I remember in May of 2023, really crashing and getting, this was like nervous breakdown, crashing over a split with my divine masculine, with my emperor. Consequently, odd that that's on the table. And it sent me through a dark night of the soul. And what was waiting for me on the other side of that, but I had to go through all this. I had to go through healing. I had to go through really going within and understanding what happened, why it happened, why that Four of Cups, Four of Swords needed to happen. And what was created as I stepped into the next chapter was all of this. These were skills or talents, if you will, that I had very early on in childhood that was suppressed or I was shamed for. I was never allowed to express, and it just kind of stayed buried. Had that not happened at that critical moment in my life with he and I, you wouldn't be watching my video right now. So there's something like that. I need to have gratitude. Now he's still in my life and I'm grateful that he's still in my life and I love him. But if I would not have had that 3-month crisis, I would not have been reborn into the Jen that you see today. I was a very different person back then. So there's something here about taking stock, that King of Pentacles, like looking back at every situation, environment, or connection in your life that you invested in, that you chose to participate in. That, and this could even be like stuff you buy, things that you intake into your body, consumption. And it certainly could be situations, environments, or connections that you chose to engage in, that you chose to move forward in. I would take time. And I think that's what this new moon in Taurus is calling for you to do. For me, sometimes Two of Pentacles is like time management. And that Four of Swords could be just like meditation, processing, not making any movement just yet. The movement is coming. The movement is definitely coming. But there's something here like in the interim to process all of that stuff, sort of how I did 3 years ago. And there's something here about looking back and saying, everything that I did and everything that was done to me got me to where I am today. And I would not be able to step boldly into the next chapter had all of this not happened. And that was true for me 3 years ago as well. And I'm definitely in the process of closing out a new chapter, or an old chapter, I should say, the current chapter, and opening up a new chapter. And for me, it entails a lot, like relocation, all this stuff. Is it all happening now this week? No. It's going to take me some time to do that. But I am on the precipice of moving forward and starting to make some new plans in that direction. And I think you are too. This is not my reading. This is your reading. So the end of a tough cycle approaches. Something toxic that you were engaging in, or the way you were showing up, or self-sabotaging behaviors, or a pattern within yourself, or like I said, maybe overconsumption of something. That's what seems to be coming to an end. Clarify that Seven of Swords a little bit more. So situation, environment, connection, thought process, pattern. There's something here about understanding the real significant growth you've had as a result of that and being grateful for that experience, as opposed to maybe being bitter or upset or something like that over it. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Seven of Swords is further clarified by the Hermit, the Empress, and the Ten of Wands. You can't make it up. Bottom of the deck, the Hierophant. Huge, huge spiritual lesson. That entire tough cycle. If you're wondering why you had to go through all that, this is your moment to go within and really process. What did you learn from it? How did it change you? How are you like more equipped now for your future? If this new chapter was happening 1 year, 3 years, 10 years, 20 years ago, would you have been prepared for it? Nope. The Gemini you are today is prepared for the new chapter. And the reason why you're prepared is because of that tough cycle that you just went through. You now are equipped with the skills and the vision and the necessary tools to start the next chapter of your life. You are a wise counselor. You now are very well balanced. That Empress energy. The Empress can carry that 10 of Wands. She, he, I don't read body parts. You're perfectly equipped now, if you will, to put in the hard work, to be determined, and that 10 of Wands to push through. You were not an Emperor or Empress prior to this cycle that is now closing out for you. And for some of you, it's possible you're moving forward with a partner when we see Emperor to the Empress. Or you're moving, if you're single, you're now moving in the direction where you will meet that counterpart. So for some of you, this person is in your life. And for others of you, you're meeting them in the next chapter. Anything else we need to know about the next chapter? We see here the Three of Wands. It's like, yes, now it's in view. The new life, the new chapter. Some of you want to move by the sea. I definitely see that here in the Three of Wands that I use for you. This person is looking at a boat. So there's something here about like planning for the sea. We also have two birds here in the sky. So again, for some of you, you're traveling with someone to this destination, this location, or moving forward with them in some way. Like this could even be financial. This doesn't have to be a relationship reading. This could be you deciding, I no longer want to be an employee of someone else. I don't want to be employed. I want to be self-employed. And this might be the moment where you decide to lay the groundwork to become a business owner in the future. Again, it's not all going to happen in the next couple of days of the energy of the new moon in Taurus, but this is when the seeds need to be planted. And that's what that Three of Pentacles is. It's not only looking out into the horizon where you want to be, but it's like, this is a moment out of love for self, Ace of Cups, I'm going to start putting some real effort into saving the money, creating the business plan, maybe collaborating with my person, if you have a person, on how you're going to move forward together. And for those of you where you're single, this next chapter, this is where you're meeting this person. Anything else about the World card? This is like a graduation day, so congratulations. Page of Wands, get curious, Hangman, and Six of Pentacles, bottom of the deck, Knight of Wands. What lights your soul on fire? Who do you want to be in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? Think about it, because this next cycle is not something that you're going to be able to easily change. But you will be changed by it for the better. What do I mean? It's something you can't easily change. There's something here about you really thinking about who and what you want to be or where you want to be in the future. Before the Hangman, look how the cards came out. Page of Wands, Hangman, and Six of Pentacles. Before you start investing time, love, money, talent into the new, there's something here about you really discovering and going within and pausing and saying, where do I want to live in 5 or 10 years? And what do I have to do right now in this moment to get me there? You know, do I have to start looking at different areas of the country or the world? Do I have to start collecting information and data and crime statistics and, you know, real estate info and cost of living analysis? If you have children, what are the schools like in that area? Like, this is your moment in time to discover. That is planting a seed. Before you actually start saying, I'm going to definitely move in this area. Why? Because you saw a brochure or a commercial? Like, no, this is a time for you to discover that. What do you want to do for a living 1 year, 5 years, 10 years from now? Oh, you want to be your own business owner? This is where you start planting the seed. Before you just start saying, I'm going to open up a business. What kind of business? What do you need? What licenses do you need? What certifications do you need? You know, is there anything you have to do in order to comply with local, state, or regional ordinances or laws? Like, this is your moment to gather intel, if you will. So a little bit of a two-part message here for you, Gemini. Being grateful for everything you've gone through in this tough cycle. Understand that it is closing out. Understand that it was necessary. Don't take the bitterness or the pain or the heartbreak with you as you move forward. Just take the lessons. Find the gratitude in those situations, environments, connections, experiences. And now, as you know that you are on the precipice of a new beginning, we have no Fool card here. So it's like the World card is like an acknowledgement of, I know the old chapter is over. This, again, just going to use me as an example. I know my life in this town is limited. Like, the time that I have left here is limited. But there's no Fool card. I have the Minor Arcana card to the Fool card here. Page of Wands. So now it's time for me to discover, once I leave this, where am I going? Where do I want to go? How much money do I need to save? You know, this is the planning stage. So a little bit of a twofold message here for you. Finding gratitude in this, and then acquiring the data or information you need to move into this. For those of you where you're moving forward with someone, let's grab you 3 cards. 3 cards for my Geminis who are moving forward in a new direction with a new business partner. It could be a friend helping you. You know, this could be the loan company that you're going to acquire a loan with. They're you know, funding your next phase here, or opening up the business. Or maybe you and your romantic partner are considering taking a relationship to a higher level of commitment or relocating. So let's get 3 cards for those of you where you're doing this in partnership with someone else, regardless of who they are, professional, platonic, or romantic. One more shuffle here. Thank you. If you're moving for a death card, the two of you are changing your lives. This is radical ending, right? This is an ending for a new beginning. Death card, Judgment, and 2 of Wands. It's a decision you need to make together. One of you can't decide that you want to go and the other one doesn't. So if this is a decision, it's a judgment call that the 2 of you are saying, we're going to move forward on this path together. Just know that it will transform your life for the better. But this is something that you have to do together. Okay, 9 of Pentacles. So it's 2 people, okay, because the 9s are very singular. It's 2 people saying, I both want to do, like, I want to do this and you want to do this and I want to do this with you and you want to do this with me, because we don't want to die with regrets. 5 of Cups. So we're going to move forward and open up this business together. You know, we're going to move forward and relocate together. So I like this, but it is a decision that both of you need to make. 3 cards for those of you where you're doing this single, okay? And you're hoping that as you move forward, or the belief is, as I move forward, I'm going to connect with someone who's my equal, my business partner, the financier, you know, the romantic love partner. So for those of you who are finding that counterpart, once you start to take that step, one more shuffle here. Thank you. Once you start to take that step, 4 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, and the Fool. There it is. There's that person. Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Once you say, I'm going to let go of the cycle I've been holding on to, situation, environment, connection, I'm going to be bold, I'm going to be brave, I'm going to start acquiring information, the person comes in. Now we see the Fool card for you. So the moment you just even acknowledge to yourself, this is over, I'm going to pivot in this new direction, you have someone new here that comes in. Queen of Cups, 4 of Wands, and the 9 of Pentacles. They don't have to be a Queen of Cups. They don't have to be a King of Cups. I don't read body parts. And it's a collective general reading. I just saw the smoke. Oh, my God. I'm not Catholic. My mother is Catholic. Do you know, like, when the Pope passes and then they're deciding, like, who the next Pope will be, and everyone waits for the smoke to rise? I don't know if my camera's picking that up, but the tea light candle just went out. And so the first image I got was of the Vatican when the smoke comes out and everyone applauds and claps, like, because the new, not that the former Pope had passed, but that the new Pope has been elected. So it's like the moment you decide, yes, I'm closing this out and I'm moving another direction. This is the information I need, and this is now what I need to do to move in that direction. That new person comes in, like the new Pope. It's so weird. It's like the new soulmate comes in, the new person comes in. They're single, they're abundant, they're loving, they're emotionally balanced, they could own their own home, they could be involved in real estate. This is someone that, like, if it's a romantic partner, this is someone that you end up marrying. If this is someone you end up just going into business with, there's a lot of financial abundance and a lot of stability that this person brings into your life when you meet up with them. Very nice there. Let's get you 3 cards of advice. I couldn't believe the smoke coming up there. I hope the camera caught that. So, yeah, the new Pope, and, you know, the new soulmate. And please don't be offended by that if you're not Catholic. I did not mean that to sound Christian sounding in any way. It's just a message. 3 cards of advice here for Gemini at this time. One more shuffle. Thank you. Knight of Wands, 9 of Cups, and 5 of Cups. Bottom of the deck, the Magician. Manifest what it is that you want. Don't get hung up, 5 of Cups, on what didn't work. Get hung up on what will work. And what do you need to do? Get excited. Get passionate. Get that fire in your belly moving. You're moving towards your 9 of Cups. Emotional fulfillment. Not codependency. Not toxic attachment. This is you being truly happy with making this decision and moving in this direction. Don't cry over spilt milk. There's something really beautiful waiting for you on the other side. Your wish fulfillment. Son of a bitch. Sorry. Magician to the Star card. And for those of you who are single, we had the Queen of Cups. We now have the King of Cups. There's your pair. The moment you decide to move in a new direction. This is a time for you to be grateful for the cycle that you went through, that you just went through. That's what I have for you, Gemini. That is your new moon and Taurus message. If you like that message, it resonates with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, comment, subscribe, hype the video if you're able to do that. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace.